Telecom TV. Telecom TV's where ICT connects.
Watching Telecom TV.
Hi, this is Kirk Laughlin from Telecom TV, talking to you from SUPERCOMM 2009 here in Chicago. We just had a panel discussion about the next generation of the telecom network in the United States. We've got three outstanding telecom leaders joining with us here for a little quick panel discussion. Joining us is George Nazi. He's the Global Networks and Infrastructure Leader at BT Design. We've got Mark Wegleitner. He's the Senior Vice President of Technology at Verizon. And also Matt Oommen, CTO at Sprint. What we want to talk to him first about is the issue of simplifying services to enable a more standardized experience for third-party application developers across telecom networks. So first, Matt, give us a sense of what you think the target is for setting up services that are more cohesive, operate more smoothly across telecom networks.
I think one of the critical components is the enablement of web services. And I'm sure we often hear the term IMS, we hear the term Web 2.0 and SOA, which are all technologies that enable a seamless opening for third-party developers using a web services gateway. We believe in enabling third-party developers by providing them a very simple-to-use toolkit so that they can leverage the network assets, whether it's the network assets, device assets, or services or systems assets. The second component we believe is critical is to provide a storefront for our third-party developers so they can monetize the application that they have developed. The third piece is also about making sure that we do not restrict or block in terms of specific services that they are trying to enable on our network. Obviously, knowing the fact that we do not want them to hurt the network, but beyond that, we want to partner with them so that there is a business model in this new evolving service-oriented network that fosters and cultivates innovation.
George, what are your thoughts?
So, I believe you want to give the control to the customers, and you want the customers to be able to innovate on top of these platforms. So what you need to do is to have an architecture starting all the way from the network that's fairly modular, software-driven, so you expose the capabilities from the network via software in a software-oriented way, so objects, APIs, that allows you to embed that in your OSS, BSS. Once you do this, then you expose it all the way to the customer, and then they can build an application store, their own applications, because you cannot control this. The world is moving very fast, it's software driven, and you want the customers to have that control and that capability. So it's very important that your architecture, modular, platform driven, software oriented.
Well, let me just add, these are all great points, and what we're trying to do here is create an environment where we can bring to bear all of the resources available for applications development. Some of those will be organic to the network, some of them will be in the web, Web 2.0, web services, all of these terms can be applied. From a network perspective, what we're trying to do with something like service-oriented network is put a network centricity around that, use a common service control infrastructure from the network. IMS is really the handle we use to describe that, and then from there, we move into this ability for these applications providers to, virtually develop anything that they can imagine. And the key, I think, to being successful here, one of the keys, there are many, is the ability to offer the applications developers a common set of APIs or objects or web services interfaces, however you want to describe it, so that we don't have applications developer, a specific applications developer doing 13 versions of an app for 13 carriers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that mean the carriers have to work better together to standardize?
In my opinion, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so I think not only the carriers, but also the supply chain with the vendors, with the vendor community, because when you talk about network SDKs, you're talking about virtualization of that supply chain and moving it into software. So they have to play in this domain, and that's a big driver now in the industry.
Mm-hmm. So actually, when you look at it, it's actually the network convergence, and to Mark's point, there is a service convergence associated with it, so that the portability at the services level can happen, and that can only happen if there is a common framework, so that the fragmentation of enablement of services don't happen.
Telecom TV. Telecom TV's where ICT connects.
Watching Telecom TV.